The wind howled through the dense forest, carrying with it the scent of pine and the faintest hint of something ancient. Elias tightened his grip on the leather-bound journal in his hands, its pages filled with cryptic notes, faded maps, and sketches of a creature that no one believed existed. He had spent years chasing this legend, following every lead, no matter how obscure. And now, standing at the edge of the whispering woods, he felt closer than ever. The legend of the Shadow Stag was as old as the forest itself. Stories spoke of a majestic creature, half deer, half shadow, that roamed the woods under the light of the full moon. It was said to grant a single wish to anyone who could find it, but only if they proved worthy. Many had tried and many had failed. Some returned with wild tales of glowing eyes and eerie whispers, while others never returned at all. Elias had always been drawn to the impossible. As a child, he devoured every book on myths and legends he could find. But it wasn't until he stumbled upon his grandfather's journal that the Shadow Stag became more than just a story. His grandfather, a renowned explorer, had spent his life searching for the creature, only to disappear without a trace. The journal was his final legacy, and Elias was determined to finish what he had started. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor. Elias adjusted his backpack and stepped into the woods, the crunch of leaves beneath his boots the only sound breaking the silence. The air grew colder as he ventured deeper, the trees towering above him like silent sentinels. He consulted the journal frequently, following the landmarks his grandfather had meticulously documented. Hours passed, and the forest seemed to close in around him. The trees grew denser, their branches twisting together to form a canopy that blocked out the moonlight. Elias's breath came in visible puffs, and his heart pounded in his chest. He was close, he could feel it. Suddenly, a low, resonant hum filled the air, vibrating through the ground and up into his bones. Elias froze, his senses on high alert. The hum grew louder, more melodic, and he realized it wasn't just a sound, it was a voice. The forest was whispering to him. "Who seeks the Shadow Stag?" the voice echoed, seeming to come from all directions at once. Elias swallowed hard, his throat dry. "I am Elias," he called out, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. "I seek the Shadow Stag to fulfill my grandfather's quest and to prove that legends are real." The whispering ceased, and for a moment there was only silence. Then a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, followed by the faint outline of a massive stag. Its antlers stretched high above its head, shimmering like starlight, and its body seemed to blend into the shadows, as if it were made of the night itself. The Shadow Stag stepped forward, its hooves making no sound as they touched the ground. Elias's breath caught in his throat. The creature was even more magnificent than he had imagined. "You have come far, Elias," the stag said, its voice deep and resonant. "But the path to me is not one of distance. It is one of the heart. Why do you seek me?" Elias hesitated, then reached into his backpack and pulled out his grandfather's journal. "My grandfather believed in you," he said, holding the journal out. "He spent his life searching for you, and I want to finish what he started. But more than that, I want to prove that there's still magic in the world. That not everything can be explained away by science or logic." The Shadow Stag regarded him for a long moment, its glowing eyes piercing into his soul. Then it nodded. "You have proven your worth, Elias. But know this, the wish I grant comes with a price. Are you prepared to pay it?" Elias's mind raced. He hadn't considered that there might be a cost, but he had come too far to turn back now. "I am," he said firmly. The stag lowered its head, its antlers glowing brighter. Then speak your wish. Elias closed his eyes, thinking of all the things he could wish for. Wealth, fame, power. But none of that felt right. What he truly wanted was something deeper, something more meaningful. I wish to understand, he said finally. To understand the mysteries of the world, to see the magic that others overlook, and to carry on my grandfather's legacy. The Shadow Stag's antlers flared with light, and a warm, tingling sensation spread through Elias's body. When he opened his eyes, the forest looked different, brighter, more alive. He could see the faint glow of fireflies dancing in the air, hear the whispers of the trees, and feel the pulse of the earth beneath his feet. Your wish is granted, the stag said. But remember, Elias, with knowledge comes responsibility. Use it wisely. Before Elias could respond, the Shadow Stag turned and melted into the shadows, leaving him alone in the forest. He stood there for a moment, savoring the newfound awareness that filled him. Then, with a smile, he turned and began the journey back home. Years passed, and Elias became a renowned explorer and storyteller, sharing the wonders he had seen and the lessons he had learned. He never spoke of the Shadow Stag, knowing that some mysteries were meant to be kept secret. But in his heart, he carried the magic of that night, a reminder that legends were real, if only you had the courage to believe. And so, the legend of the Shadow Stag lived on, not just in the whispers of the forest, but in the heart of a man who had dared to seek it.